Hi, good evening. This is Pat from Pat's Card Corner, and this is my Take Two Tuesday. And tonight I'm going to show you how to make this card right here. It's called a box step card. And I'm going to turn my sound down here. So if you can see it from the side, it looks like that. And you can fold it up. It does fold flat, so you can fit it into an envelope. And you can also put little candy treats inside. So this is the card that we're going to make, and these are the pieces of paper that you're going to need. I'm just going to talk just for a couple minutes because I know there's a couple people that are wanting to get on and watch, so just going to wait a minute. If you are watching, I would appreciate it if you'd comment, if you would share this video, if you would like this video, that would be great. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and it is fun to be here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this is what we're going to make, so I'm just going to move that out of the way just for a minute and kind of go over the supplies that you're going to need to make this card. I did post them earlier on my Facebook page, so all the measurements are there. I will post them again after this video is over, and at the bottom. And I'm going to also post this on my blog, which is www.jumpingintostamping.com. So if you missed all the details, you can hop over there. It should hopefully be posted tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go over this real quick of what we're going to need. And I have little sticky notes on the back. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock. You can choose any colors you want, any patterns. In fact, I have a whole bunch of other things that I'm going to show you. My thing is stuck here later so that you can watch. No, I lost my train of thought. So I have a bunch of other samples I'm going to show you made with different papers. I have some that are for Halloween. I made one for Thanksgiving. I kind of went crazy making these because they were just so much fun. So hope you enjoy it. This one I'm going to make, obviously, is a winter theme one. And the paper that I'm using for the designer series paper is called Snowflake Splendor. It is one of, I think, 15 designer series paper that are on sale through October 31st. They're 15% off, so you can get an entire pack of this paper for just $9.78, and which is a great deal. So, but we are going to get started. Hey Cruz, how are you? This is 4 1/4 by 11. It's 4 1/4 by 11. Then you need a piece of coordinating cardstock, and this piece is 2 3/4. I'm going to put it this way. This is a vertical card, so all the measurements are the length and then, or the width and then the length. So this is 2 3/4 by 5 5/8. Next, you're going to need 3 pieces of designer series paper that coordinate with each other. The first piece you're going to need is this one, and it is 4 inches by 3 1/4. It's 4 inches this way by 3 1/4. If you have paper that is directional, like it has stripes or something like that, you want to make, if you want your stripes to go up and down, you're going to want to make sure that the 4 inch is going across and your 3 1/4 inch is going down, so that everything will be in the right direction. Then I also have another piece of designer series paper. This one is 4 inches across by 2 3/4 going down. I have one more, and this one is 2 1/2 inches this way and 4 3/4 this way. And then I also have, you can either use squares or circles. This is a 2 inch square. You'll need a 2 inch square or a circle. of Whisper White and then matching matte to go around it. You can use either one of your cardstock colors, and that one would be 2 1/4. It's just 1/4 of an inch bigger to give it a little border around the edge. And I had a circle around here somewhere, but I'm not sure what I did, where I put it. And then you will need 1 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that one is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to leave that up here just for a second so you can kind of look at it. In case you want to take a quick screenshot, then you can have all the measurements right at your fingertips. So, okay, so you will need also to complete this project, you are going to need a paper trimmer and score, because we're going to be doing a little bit of that. You'll also need a bone folder to make all your creases with, and you're also going to need, very important, you're going to need some tear and tape. So you can kind of get those things ready. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some scoring, and that is for the 2 cardstock pieces. So I'm just going to move these out of the way and put them to the side and get my trimmer and my scorer. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to score this one first. This is a 4 1/4 by 11, and you are going to need to pull out the arm of your scorer. So because we're going to be scoring it on the long side. So the very first measurement that we're going to score it at is 5 1/2. So just a word of caution, make sure that where your cutting blade is, that you move it out of the way, push it all the way down to the bottom, because you don't want to cut your paper, you only want to score. So, or you can remove the blade, as somebody said, because we accidentally cut something the other day that we weren't supposed to. So, but you just want to score it. So 5 1/2. Then you're going to move your paper over to 6 3/4, and you're going to score it again. That's 6 3/4. Hi, Irene. And then we're going to move it over to 8 3/4. And like I said, all these measurements are going to be in the comments later. And the last one we're going to score it at is 10. So you're going to score it there. So I'm just going to go over that real quick. It was 5 1/2 is the first place you're scoring. The next one is 6 3/4. The next one is 8 3/4. And then the last one is 10. Okay, so that one is scored. We're going to set that aside. And then the next one we're going to score is the piece that is 2 3/4 by 5 5/8. So we are going to score this also on the long side. The first thing we're going to do, we need to score it at 3/8 of an inch. And I could do it this way, but then it's kind of hard to get the arm down and hold on to it. So I'm actually just going to flip my paper around and do it from this side. You can see this Stampin' Up! Trimmer is great because it goes over to 1 1/2 inches on the right hand side. So I can go over 3/8 of an inch, which would be right there. And I'm just going to score it right there. So it's just a tiny little score. And then I'm going to turn, I've got glue on my thing here. Then I'm going to turn it so that where we just scored is now on the left, and we're going to score it at 1 5/8. That's 1 1/2, that's 1 5/8. And just remember to hold your paper up near the top, and we're going to score it there. And that's it. That's the only 2 places that we're going to score. We are going to do some cutting, so you can put the arm in, because now we're going to just do some cutting. And the first piece that we're going to cut is the piece that is 4 by 2 3/4. And I was making this with my stamping group last night, and they were asking me, well, why didn't you just tell me to cut it beforehand so I would have had it done? Because we actually had a really laughing time. We had people in tears, not crying, but laughing so hard, just trying to get everything straight. So and the reason being is where we're going to put this, it's going to kind of be on one side and then on the other side of the box. So you want it to look like it's a continual piece instead of being two pieces cut up and maybe not the same pattern or the same colors in the same place. So that is why we didn't cut it beforehand. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the long side, and we're going to turn it clockwise. Our piece, when we put it on, it's on our piece, it's actually going to go lengthwise. This piece is going to go right down here, and the other piece is actually going to, can't hardly see it, but it's going to go up there. So we want to make sure that they match. So we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to cut off 1 inch. So I'm just going to go over to the 1 inch mark and cut off 1 inch. Whoops, got to have my cutting blade now. So you have two pieces that look like this. So if you had a pattern that you could see a whole lot more, you want them to be able to match up. So we're just going to set those aside real quick. I'm just going to put those here. And now I need you to get your piece that is 2.5 by 4 3/4. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut 1 inch off the top. So I'm going to take this measurement thing off. So I'm going to turn it clockwise. I'm going to put it on the 1 inch mark, and we're just cutting 1 inch off the top. And then I'm going to turn it back. So you can kind of see pieces. If it was a bigger pattern, you'd notice it more, but the pieces are going to kind of match up with the colors. So you just put those on top of each other. I'm actually going to move those over here. And now we're done with our cutting piece, and now we're going to make the card. So I'm going to just move that out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is get the piece that we scored. And when you score something, it makes like a little groove on one side, and the other side makes like a little lump, like a little valley. So that valley is the inside. It's the part that you want to fold in. So we need to make sure you have that face up, and then we're just going to fold and burnish it on all the fold marks going all the way down. We want a really good crease because this is a box, and you know, boxes have good edges, so we don't want something that's not. Okay. All right, so now you should have a piece that looks like this. You can see where it's going to fold up. It is going to fold up into a box like that. And if you're wondering, well, how am I going to get that straight? I mean, I could do it crooked like that, but I have a foolproof way to get that done for you. Before we do that, we are going to add some of two of the pieces of designer series paper that we cut. And you need to, let me get it right here. Okay, so you need to flip it over so that the folds would be going under. And we're going to put, this is the small fold that's at the top. We're going to put one of the pieces on this in between the second and the first and the second score line, and the other piece is going to go right below it, just like that. So we are going to adhere those down. I'm going to just use some liquid glue on mine. So I'm just going to turn it over. You see I got snowflakes on the back of my paper too. I'm kind of obsessed with snow. We don't get much here, but I like it. I grew up with a lot of snow, though. I spent a lot of time growing up in Connecticut and Illinois, so I'm used to having more snow than what we get here in Virginia. Excuse me. I get a drink there. Talking too much. Okay. Hey, Julie. Glad you joined us. Okay, so now we're going to glue the second piece on, and that is going to go right below it. It's going to go, just going to center it in between the two score lines and kind of, you know, get the edges even with the one above it. Okay, now I'm actually going to flip it upside down just because it's easier, because we're going to put some tear and tape on this flap, because that is the flap that's going to fold underneath and get attached to the back of our card here. So I'm just turning it this way. Just it's easier if it's closer to me than if it's farther away. So you want to put tear and tape, and you can use glue for this too if you don't have tear and tape. You just put some glue on this flap. I'm going to put, you want to put it right below the score line, and then I put another piece on it too because I want to make sure it stays together. And tear and tape does a great job of doing that. Just going to kind of rub it down a little bit. This helps when you're trying to take the protective piece off. It kind of helps that you have that it's down really good. It makes it easier to tear that off. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to remove that. Got my little piercing tool here. Throw that out of the way. Throw that out of the way. And now you can turn it back around the other way. So what we're going to do is you're going to fold your card so it's folded up like this. This piece is going to fold under, just like that. And whoop, it's stuck on my hand. So you're just going to want to make sure that it's down right here, and then you're just going to fold it, just press it down. So it's just going to fold up right on that line. And you can kind of make sure, kind of rub it and make sure you get it on there. And you can kind of lift it up, and now you have a perfect little box. See how it made, you didn't have to worry about where am I going to put it, and it was real easy to get down. Should be able to fold it that way. It should fold this way. And now we're going to take, where's my other piece? We're going to attach this piece, which is the 4" by 3 1/4 piece, and that piece is going to go right here. So we're just going to take some, just going to put some glue on the back. I don't know if you noticed, this is the matching side of that, so this is reversible paper, so it's great. You can use both sides. And this piece is just going to go right here, just like that. This is super easy. Okay, so now we're done with this. So we're going to set this aside just for a minute, and we're going to make the flat piece, which is this piece here that goes across the front. And that is this piece right here. Scoot that up there. So this piece we scored on the 3/8 inch line, so we're just going to fold that up and give it a good crease. Ah, Julie's made another one. So we made these last night. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've made, this is my 8th one I'm making. I'm a little obsessed with them. I don't know, they're just kind of fun to make, and I think they'd be fun for people to get. So, okay, so now we've kind of folded that, and these two pieces that we cut out before, you can kind of see where they went together, are going to go on here. This one is going to go at the top between the 2 score lines, and then this one is going to go right underneath between the 2nd score line and the bottom. So just going to put some adhesive on those. And just going to go on there just like that. And we're going to put some adhesive on the other one. And this is going to go down here at the bottom, just like that. Okay, and this one is also just as easy to get on and get in the right place as the other one. We are also going to put some tear and tape on this one. It's going to go right here. I turned mine upside down so I could get it on better. But it's going to go right here on this teeny little flap. So I'm just going to get my tear and tape out. And like I said, you can use glue on this. You would just put glue right on this little flap instead of tear and tape. And okay, now that we have the glue on there, we're going to make sure your thing is at the top. we're going to put some tear and tape at the bottom on the other side. Now if you're using glue, don't, on your other flap, don't put glue on this part now. You can wait and put it on later. I'm just doing it now. One, I have tear and tape, so, and if yours hangs over a little bit, I'm just going to cut that off where it was hanging over, because we won't want it to hang over. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to take your box and you're going to fold it up like this. And this piece, this whole flap is going to fold under, so it's folded under, and it's going to go right here, right in the middle. And when you're lining it up, you're going to line up the bottom, that's stuck on my hand, with the edge of the Designer Series paper. So you still see a little bit of the edge of the box, and then you'll see at the top, you can also see the edge. Let's hold it up a little bit, maybe that'll help. You can also see the edge on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the top, this piece off first. Take that off. So we're just going to do one at a time. We're not going to do them both at the same time. So I'm going to fold it under both the pieces, so you just have this showing, and I center it down here at the bottom, and then when I get it where I want it, then I just kind of lay the other one down, and then I just take my bone folder and just kind of rub it really good, just to make sure it's attached. And you can see that it's attached like that. And now we're going to take off this piece. Take that off. And just remember, just fold it back at the top, and then you're just going to attach it right here at the bottom. And just kind of give it a good rub. And now you have your whole thing attached. It will stand up, like I said, and it does fold flat, so you can mail it. So there is, so now we're going to decorate the front. So I used a snowman for mine, and this one I used a square on, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that square. That sentiment is from a stamp set called, as soon as I find it, it's called Christmas Means More. It's got some great little sentiments on it, and I kind of like this one because it said, best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And my snowman looks like he might be singing or directing a little snowman choir maybe. So that's why I chose that one. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And I'm stamping mine in Pacific Point, which is the color of this cardstock here. The other cardstock color I used was Coastal Cabana. You could do that too. So I'm just going to stamp this real quick. And then I'm going to show you an easy way to, hopefully I can get this on straight. And in the middle, because it's always good to be straight and in the middle. There we go, perfect. Okay, and this little snowman that's on here, actually, before I explain that, I'm going to just attach this. I actually put dimensionals on the back of this to attach it to my card. So as soon as I find my dimensionals, there we go. I'm just going to put some on the back of that and attach it to my other square. So this is a 2" by 2" square, and this piece here is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. I did cut, you can see it's got a little bit of a scallopy edge to it. I did use the layering squares dies to cut both of these out, but you can just cut a regular piece with your paper trimmer. Super easy to do. So that's one of the reasons I switched it to a square, because not everybody has circles, and it's hard to freehand a circle or to cut a circle if you don't have something as a guideline. So I'm just going to put that on there, and I'm going to wait just a second to put that on until I do the rest. So this little snowman here is from a stamp set that's called Snowman Season. And he's right here. He's got all the little pieces. He's a snowman, he has 2 arms and a hat. And I'm going to show you an easy way to get those cut out. This stamp set has a matching punch with it, and I don't know if it's going to see this. There's a snowman in his hat. Maybe if I flip it this way, you can see it'll cut out. So I could stamp them all separate, and then I'd be wasting a whole bunch of paper trying to figure out how to do it, but I'm going to show you an easy way how to stamp this. So you will need a Stamparatus, which is our handy dandy little stamp thing. It has plates on it. So what I did is I took this punch and just a blank piece of paper. Let's see if I have one. So, and I just put it in there and I punched out all the pieces. So I had this like little template right here. And what I did is I put the little template. You do want it to be the same, whoever, like the arms on this side and the hat on this side. And I just put it on here. I put my magnets on here to hold it on. This down so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. And then these are the little stamps. So, because it's going to stamp, so I put them on upside down and I just put them in the holes. So there's the snowman. Here's his little hat. And you can kind of feel where they go because the cardstock. I did use Whisper White thick cardstock when I did that because the paper's a little thicker, so it gives it a little more of an edge, so you can actually kind of feel where the stamp, because the stamp is raised up, you can actually feel where it's going in the holes to get it straight. I'm just going to put that in, make sure I got it in there right. And this is the last one. Probably should have done those the other way around, so I think I knocked that one. Okay, everything's in the hole. And then you're just going to close up the lid and press down, and this the plate is going to pick up the stamps. You'll see. So you can see now the stamps are over here. So now I'm just going to move this, put a blank piece here. See, I made a little note, put my cardstock here so I wouldn't forget. Kind of in the same place. Put my magnets down to hold my paper. Just don't get the magnets close to each other. They'll stick together. And then I'm just going to put some ink on the stamps. Just kind of super easy. Cover my ink up, and then you're just going to flip it over, press down. The great thing about this, if you didn't get a good stamp the first time, you can stamp it up again and try it again. So there we have, that's all done. I want to get those together. Let me leave those there. Take this, move that out of the way, and now you can see if I put it in here that all the arms and the snowman and the hat all match up. I am going to color this first before I punch it out, just because it's easier to color when it's a big piece and when it's a small piece. There's not a lot of coloring on here. There's some leaves on the hat, so I'm going to use, these are Stampin' Blend markers, so I'm just going to put a little green on his hat for the leaves. This color is Shaded Spruce. There are a couple little berries on here, so I'm going to color those in. We got some berries on his hat. He's got a little hat band on there and a hat, so I'm going to color the hat. This is just basic black, and I'm just going to kind of color it in real quick. This goes really fast. It's not hard at all. It's very easy, and these blends are great for coloring. And here's my little hat at the corner there. Also going to kind of finish coloring in the buttons on his, buttons, coal buttons on his front of him. And he has a little nose, so I'm going to color in his nose. Give him a little carrot nose. This is pumpkin pie, so it's a little orange color. And then this is pool party light. I'm just going to kind of color in his the band on his hat. I'm also going to just give him, oops, let me use the other end. Since running out, I need to get a new one. I'm just going to kind of outline him a little. It just kind of helps him show up a little bit more. So just kind of going real quick around the edge. This isn't rocket science. This is just real easy peasy, quick and easy. Okay, so now I have them colored, and now I'm actually going to punch him out. So actually put him in this way. And I'm just going to line him up where it lines up in here. I gotta turn it a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, since I'm above it. And my arms are a little crooked here. All right. Oop. And there go all the little pieces. All right, this arm I didn't get him quite in the right spot, so we're gonna flip his arm over, and I'm gonna draw on his arm with a pen. I could stamp it again, but it's just as easy just to, must not have had his arm quite in there the right way. Just as easy to just draw on it. The little pen. There we go. Okay, so now that we have all those pieces, I am going to glue his arms on the back. And what I did for that is I just put a teeny tiny bit of glue on each side and just kind of set his arm in the ink right there, or ink, set it in the glue. And this one's going to go, whoops, this way. So there he is. And I'm actually going to put him on with dimensionals, so I'm going to turn him upside down real quick and just put a couple dimensionals on the back for him and one on his hat. And now we're ready to put him on the front. So this is our card. So this one I'm going to put here. Now when you're putting something on this piece, you need to flatten it down. And if it hangs over the top, you need to move it down, because this is where the envelope is. If you put something way up here, even though it looks good when you have it this way, when it's closed, if you want to put it in an envelope, it won't fit. So you just kind of need to make sure that you move it down far enough to do that. So I'm going to put it right about here. And I'm just, because it does hang over on the side a little bit, I'm just going to put my finger under there so I know not to put glue there. And I'm just going to put some glue on the rest of it, kind of in a little triangle shape there. And I'm just going to attach it right there. You also want to make sure it doesn't hang over the edge on this side, because then it won't fit in the envelope that way. So it can be just a teeny tricky. I don't think I want it quite that turned. Turn it a little bit this way. There we go. And then I'm just going to adhere my little snowman on there. He's going to go kind of about right here to make sure his hat doesn't go off the top. Put him right there, and then he's going to get this little hat on his head. Just going to kind of put that right there. And there you go. Now you can leave him like that. I added some ribbon around the bottom, and this is real easy. This is, what color is this? This is Pool Party sheer ribbon. This is actually part of the Well Done thing, but Pool Party is one of our colors. And I'm just going to cut off a big piece here. And I'm just going to thread it right through the box, just like that. And then I'm going to tie a knot in it, or a bow. When I do my bows, I know I'm a little weird. I'm left-handed, so I find if I turn it upside down and do the first little part, I'm going to actually flatten the box out a little bit. I'm going to put a little glue dot right there so that it will stay down while I tie the bow. As soon as I find where my glue dot is. Hold on. Can't do, I only have 10 fingers and not enough to do what I want to do. Okay, so let me go that, there we go. So it's about where I want it to go, so I'm just gonna put a little glue dot underneath. So when I press down, it'll actually hold that down. So I don't have to hold it down, it'll stay tight like that, so it won't come undone while I do the bow. And then I'm gonna tie my bow right side up, because my bows tie better that way. Don't ask me why, they just do. And there you go, a little bow on them. And then I'm just gonna, as soon as I find my scissors, just gonna kind of cut the ends off, just like that. And there you have it. You're all done. So you can see it'll stand up. I know you, now that it's standing, you can't really see it, but it does stand up. And it will fold flat. So here's an envelope, so I'm going to just show you. So if, when you just fold it up, put it right in your envelope, and there you go. So if you want to write a note on the back, and in case you're wondering why you didn't use the 4" by 5 1/4, if you want to put a note on it, you're going to put it on the back of this. You're just going to put it right there. I would suggest that you write your note and then put it on, because it is kind of lumpy, and you know, it's hard to write on if it's not even. So I'm not going to attach mine now, because I'm not sure who I'm going to give this one to yet. So you can stamp on here a sentiment, you can write a note, you can decorate it however you want. But that's where that piece goes. It's on the back, so that you have some place to write your greeting or your note that you want to write. And there you go. So that's what it looks like. So I am going to share a couple of these, some other ones that I did, just so you can see different, just by using different paper, that you can use them for different things. So last night when we did this with my stamping group, I made one that had a cat on it. This is a birthday card. I have a friend who likes cats, so this was perfect. This is from, I want to say Pampered Pets, but I know that's not correct. And the name escapes me at the moment. But then I also, because I was having fun, I did a little dog version of the same one. So you can see. You can, you know, do different things. These have circles on it. Obviously, this one had a square. And then I also did some Halloween ones. So if you do a Halloween one, if you're not going to send these in an envelope, you can just put some candy right inside the thing. This is actually like a full-size bag of M&Ms. So I just kind of folded it down a little bit so it would be short enough, and I just kind of slid it right in. And there you have it. So if you have trick-or-treaters coming to your house and you want a kind of a fun way to give them decorations, I'm not sure if people are trick-or-treating this year or anything, so you could do it that. So I also made another one, and just so you know, you can fit 2 small little candy bars inside. These are actually in a little envelope. Stampin' Up sells that are 3" by 6", and they're just tiny little, they are gusseted, so you can fit stuff in them. So I just put 2 in, I just kind of stapled the end, folded it under, and then just kind of, they're perfect. They fit right inside. You can't even tell that there's candy in them, so these would be great. So then I thought, well, if you can have these for Halloween, and this is, I know I kind of went a little crazy making these, I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to have these for Thanksgiving? So if you're having a family Thanksgiving, if anybody's doing that this year, or, you know, a couple of your close friends or something, you can make little holders like this to set up their placemats, and you know, maybe take some like little Hershey's Kisses or something and put them in a little bag and put them in between. They can sit on everybody's plate. It would kind of make a fun decoration for Thanksgiving. This set of papers is from the Gilded Autumn papers. I think that's right. I think that's the name. So you can do it for that. And then I also made one more. This is actually the same set of papers as this one with some snowflakes on it. So you can do all kinds of things with these. Make them for all different kinds of occasions. You know, just kind of whatever you want. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with these. So, yeah, I hope you give these a try. They're fun. Obviously, I've made way too many because I just kind of went crazy just because they were so fun. Oh, Pampered Pet, somebody told me that's the name of this paper, Pampered Pets. So anyway, so those are the, this is how you do it. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll try making these. So like I said, you can make these for any occasion. You can put candy inside. You can make Christmas ones, maybe cute stocking stuffer, maybe roll up some socks and put them inside. That would be kind of cute too. Especially, you know, if you had something like keep warm or something, that would be cute. Anyway, just a bunch of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. So like I said, I will have all of the measurements again. They are on one of the other posts. I'll put them in the comments. You can also find them on my website, www.jumpingintostamping.com. And I hope you had fun. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I will answer them. And I hope that you will share this video and share the post so everybody else can see too. Thank you and have a great night.